So what they say, if you go look up about the winter solstice, they say the sun stays still for 3 days. And then it comes back pure. So really, the winter solstice represents the end of wintertime. Okay? A lot of people don't know that, but it does. The winter solstice represents the end of wintertime. That 3-day period where they say the sun is standing still and then it's born again, which is where they get their story from of Jesus, being dead for 3 days and he rose, right? It's all about the winter solstice. But the winter solstice is based on, remember, because winter isn't real. Here, right? Winter is not real. All right? Winter is a spell that was brought to the planet by the Dark Elves from planet Nern. Used to freeze our planet out because the cool air weakens us. Cold is a weapon to us. Stand your ass outside in the cold right now. It's still chilly around this bitch now. And it weakens you. But when that sun is fully on you, you feel a whole different way. Right? So the winter solstice represents when the spell is at the weakest point. And the sun, they say the sun stands still, then is reborn again. No, what's happening is the spell breaks down right there. The spell breaks down right there. And then January, February is ushering you right into spring. And spring is the platform that ushers you right into the summertime. Because spring weather and summertime weather and what they call fall weather are the natural seasons. We only had 3 seasons. Spring, summer, fall. We never had no winter. If we had a motherfucking winter, then what the fuck was the Africans doing? Because they told us that the Africans had shoes on, that had to walk around with no shoes on their feet. Hell, they said we was Africans. And they said we walked around with no shoes on our feet. And that when the white man discovered us in Europe, we was walking around with baskets of fruit on our motherfucking head. You see what I'm saying? That's what they told us. So what the fuck was they doing to keep warm in the wintertime then? You said the Indians was over here, a red people. Because we the Indians, but they didn't tell us that. They said we was from Africa and that there was another group of people over here that was red people called the Indians. Okay, they ain't had no moccasins, none of that shit before y'all came along. Because y'all said y'all traded furs with them and clothes with them because they were savages. They called the aboriginals, the indigenous people of the land, the natives of the land, they called us savages. All right? Even though they the real savages that came to our shit, though. But we the savages in their history books. And they said, nigga, we wasn't doing shit with our lives before the white man discovered us. Right? That's what they teach us. So, okay, how was they surviving these harsh winters then? If it was always winter here, how was they surviving this shit? How was they surviving it? Niggas ain't need no pellies. Niggas ain't had no Ugg boots on. None of that. So how was they surviving? Wasn't no bubble coats. Niggas ain't had no hoodies. Niggas ain't had no masks. None of that. How was they surviving winter? If winter was always a part of the planet. If the planet was all... Nowhere in this motherfucking planet is cold, man. Right? So this whole celebration of the winter solstice lies. It's all based around King Nimrod and the fact that he was the king of ancient Babylon. Okay? He is the king of ancient Babylon. Nimrod. And who were the Babylonians? The first group of human beings that was starting to learn about the enchantments. So they started learning how to build these cities. They learned, they was mastering our teachings. And they took our teachings and used them for negative. Now, they could never master the teachings better than us. No. But it's just like anything. You could teach somebody something and they can get real good at it. And sometimes they can get better than you at it. But they was taking all these teachings and they started building. But they had a negative intent, though. King Nimrod, they talk about this Tower of Babel that belonged to the Babylonians. And the Babylonians were doing some of the worst shit you could think of. Now go look up Christmas. Google Christmas. and talk about the pagans and how they handle Christmas. On Christmas, ain't no criminals get punished. On Christmas, I'm talking about an ancient Christmas, they didn't punish criminals. It was the one day where they would let lawlessness run around the city, because it used to be called Saturnalia. Saturnalia. Right? And the pagans aren't human beings. Just another name for them, just like the Celtics, the Vikings, the Scandinavians. All these titles will just throw you off the trail of who the fuck they really is. Same motherfuckers that run shit today. But the pagans originally, lawlessness was allowed that day. Think of the purge. You can kill shit, all that on Christmas. Santa like to let little kids sit on his lap. Where you think he get that? Where that tradition started? Remember, you go sit on Santa's lap, little kids sitting on this grown ass nigga lap with this beard. See, you didn't think about how weird that shit was then. Nigga, that's some pedophile shit. Nigga, sometimes you see the little kids crying. I don't even know this nigga. We'll sit on your lap, fam. I'll take a gift though. Fuck, I gotta sit on your lap for. Nigga, you could give me the gift without touching me. We never thought about that. So that whole tradition, even sitting on Santa's lap, the pagans they into pedophilia, man. These all your senators of the day, all your congressmen, all your politicians, the same motherfuckers. And they used to take the kids, sit them on their lap, molest them, touch them, all that on Christmas. That's the original, where that started from. The whole mistletoe, do you know what the mistletoe is? The mistletoe is a parasite in the plant kingdom. The mistletoe will drain the nutrients off any plant that you put it on. Google about the mistletoe. Just like you got good plants, you got negative ones. Just like you got good gods, you got negative ones. Right? That's what Zeus and them represent. I told you it's duality in all things. You got good reptilians and you got bad ones. You got good Pleiadians, you got bad ones. As above, so below. And that goes down to the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom. This is why when you in practicing magic, you got to be careful too. Because you don't want to manifest a trickster spirit that's more advanced than you. Now they using you to do all type of shit. Got you all outside of yourself. Yes, it's real in the spiritual realm. As above, so below. But this is some deep shit when you talk about what Christmas was really celebrated for. The energy that's being celebrated. That they had us celebrating year after year, including myself. So you're not alone in that. Don't feel, oh man, it's just me. Nigga, I celebrated it too. But nigga, y'all get a hoverboard or something, you don't see no wrappings, you don't see. It used to be like that too with me. But if we are to rise, we got to rise all the way. You can't halfway rise. Thank you. You can't halfway rise. Man would give, the gift giving comes from the man giving gifts to each other. For any god or goddess that participates in homosexuality today, that's why I told you, man. I would never judge you, man. I wouldn't turn my back on you, treat you differently. Because that was forced on some of us. But who started it was them. That's what you got to know. You ain't started. You got a pussy. You ain't just want to start licking pussy. That shit started with them. During Saturnalia. During celebrating these festivities. Because they were pledging allegiance to their side. It's a ritual. It's an actual ritual that's just being broadcast to the masses. It's a satanic ritual that's broadcasted to the masses, making it that much more powerful because we all participate in it. So the giving was from the man. The man would beat their wives. They would get drunk and beat their wives. Beat her till blood get on the wife beater. If the blood ain't get on the wife beater that you got on, you ain't beat your wife right. We talk about them. These they traditions. That white tank top, that's why it's called a wife beater. That shit started with Christmas. They would get drunk, then they would beat on their wives. Then they would go to these parties, these gatherings with nothing but men there. Just all men. Because they don't like women. They don't even like their own white women. I'm talking about the hierarchy of human beings. They don't even like their own white women. History shows that us mistreating our goddesses, that was forced upon us. That was taught to us through social engineering. That ain't how we was from jump, from source, from essence. That ain't how who we is. But them, on the other hand, that's who they are. They even made a whole book called the Bible that says it's the woman's fault. If Eve ain't bite the apple, the world wouldn't be fucked up. That's basically what they tell you in the Bible. So during this Christmas, they would get drunk, beat their wives, go to these gatherings, give gifts to other men, and have orgies and sex with each other while singing these Christmas songs. And these were all rituals to bring in Set, which is another name for Saturn, which is another name for Yakub, which is another name for Prometheus, which is another name for Marduk, which is another name for Enki and Enlil, which is another name for Satan, Zeus. Saturn is another name for Set, which is another name for goddamn Satan, man. See, they trick you because they flip all these different names. All these different names, you be lost. You think these different people. Same motherfucker. That's why it was called Saturnalia. That's what I'm trying to get you to see what the fuck we were celebrating. What side we was on. We know who Satan is, Zeus. And before it was called Christmas, it was called Saturnalia. And I'm just telling you the shit that they did. Why the tradition to sit kids on Santa's lap? And for our Santa, you can rearrange them letters and you're going to get Satan. You can rearrange a few letters and you had Satan. Right back to square one. The elves started off as evil. They just tried to rewrite this shit in the 1930s. The commercialized it to the world. You got the Krampus, an evil demon. That's Santa's helper, right? All these songs. You see me? We didn't even listen to what they had us singing. So celebrating the celebrating tactics, all this was done on the 25th. Not for Jesus, but this festivities was done to reel in the energy of Satan, right? But moreover, it was also paying homage to Tammuz, which was the son of Nimrod. Because Nimrod, so celebrating Christmas, you really celebrate Nimrod, death date and the birth date of his son. Because in ancient Babylon, the Tower of Babel, right, that really represented all these crystal pyramids that we had. But that ain't how they tell the story in the Bible. They flip it. Satan tricky. So he said that they was building this Tower of Babel in his version to try to get closer to God. And then God became upset and knocked the tower down because they was trying to rise above God, and he scattered the land. But we talk about the Babylonian society. And they did everything that motherfucking the pagans celebrated on Christmas. That's why they celebrated it. Because the Babylonians, that's how they lived. The pedophilia with the little kids, the beating of the women and treating the women like they ain't shit. They rather was having sex with the man was having sex with the man. They wasn't even trying to fuck with no women. The Babylonians. And then a lot of the Babylonian women started having sex with each other because of the way the man was treating them. So this is where the lesbian, homosexual, that's where that starts from. Then they would dress little boys up with wigs. So this is where the transsexual, that's where that starts from. All that started in Babylon. That's what you gotta know. Now, if that's how you is today, live your life. As long as your vibration high. Right? But it's important that you know that this shit ain't start with no LGBTQ movement. This shit go way back. While you be in Rome, you see statues, niggas be cut up, naked, dicks hanging. You know what I'm saying? You don't see not one goddess or no one woman naked, none of that. You feel me? You can't get one of them. Even the Statue of motherfucking Liberty, they ain't got that bitch covered up. They didn't unroll that hoe. You hear me? They got that bitch, she just up there posted with a gown on. They dropped the gown, let the titties show. They sold dick on anus, right? That they motherfucking then covered her up. But you go through Europe, you see niggas naked in a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Dick balls hanging everywhere. But see, you never thought, you don't think about that shit though. Like, but you got the Statue of Liberty, you got her covered up though. That's how bad they hate women. You got her covered up though. You might as well do a mask on the whole face. Now she looking like she over in Iran some motherfucking where, because all this is covered up. But we can go to Europe and niggas is nice and cut, niggas cut up, looking to the sky, dig out. Like, why you ain't cover Buddy up though? But you want to cover her up though. You left Buddy hanging, but you want to cover. Niggas, what happened to unisex? Why they both can't be naked? You see what I'm saying? They don't like women. They don't see no titties, no nothing. It's a deep-rooted dislike for women amongst them. Nigga, you know if it was us, nigga, she would have been naked. You know if a nigga designed it, you would have seen a firmer cut on the breast, more ass or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making it make sense right now. That's all. Y'all laughing because y'all know this shit real. Like, them, I ain't never think about that. They do got her covered up, but over in Europe, them niggas is just hanging. You feel me? Niggas hanging. You know what I'm saying? For real. So that's because this is where it started at. They don't like women. And all this started in Babylon. So when King Nimrod had sex with his own mother. Okay? It impregnated his own mother. And they had a son. And King Nimrod, this is where the Christmas tree come from. This is what it represents. When King Nimrod got killed in battle, right? And guess who that Babylonians was battling with? Us. Because they were still trying to take our land, nigga. Every war in history that was ever fought was always us versus them, nigga. That's what you need to know. Civil War, all them wars up to World War I and World War II, nigga. All them Mexican-American war, all these wars, even when they talk about the wars overseas, France versus nigga, that was them versus us. So when Nimrod got killed in battle, his mother, because she, in the spot where he died, they said a tree sprouted. But that ain't what really happened. He died, she drug him to a tree, dug him under the tree. The tree she dug him under was an evergreen tree. And every year, she would go and put that 5-point star on top of the tree in memory of him, his mother, his mom, Nimrod. Every year she would like go to that tree and she would put a star on it and light it. You feel me? And light it. And that 5-point star represents us, the 5 elements of creation, of force. That's used in what? Look at it, a 5-point star, where you going to see it at? Every time you're going to see it, you're going to see it in what? When you dealing with magic. When you dealing with magic. When white people want to use our magic, they got to draw out that same 5-point star and put a circle around it. The circle is the protective circle for their ass because they ain't got no ancestors to call on. So they'll get fucked up fucking with this spiritual shit. So to not get fucked up, they got to draw a circle. Any white human being that practice witchcraft or practice this shit, they going to tell you. You feel me? If they practice magic. Because remember, magic is about energy. So if you use energy for bad, that's when you use the magic for bad. That's what makes it like witchcraft. Negative. You feel me? Any human being that practice magic, they know I ain't lying. They're going to be like, yeah, we got it. If they really practice the shit, yeah, we got to make that circle. Because they don't have no ancestors to call on. They will get fucked up in this spiritual world trying to tap into some shit without that circle. That circle prevents the spirits from touching them, from getting close to them. We don't need to draw no circle. But that's why you see that motherfucking star on top of the tree. Because you had human beings. They was human beings. The Babylonians, they was human beings. Living like that. We knew how to live. We never lived like that. They forced this shit on us after the Emancipation Proclamation. Then we became enslaved. Then niggas integrated into their school and they got reprogrammed. Then they pushed drugs into our communities to fuck us, the rest of us up. That's how that went. Then they started dividing us, and that's how we get to where we are today, nigga. But during that time, we was on their ass. It was back and forth. And that's what they taking our star, put the star up there, let me light it, tapping into the forces of magic, because guess what? Whose side are they on? It's witchcraft when they doing it, because they on Satan's side, which is Zeus, which is one of our brothers. Remember, Zeus was one of us. You can't forget that. He's at the top of that. He's at the top of that throne. And Lucifer is his prince of that army. Them 2 different individuals. Lucifer and Satan. Or Lucifer and Zeus, which is his real spiritual name. You see what I'm saying? So when his mom was doing that with the star, that was still making her donate her energy to their God. Remember, who created them? Zeus. So they not wrong for worshiping Satan, nigga. That's their creator. You get what I'm saying? Nigga, they supposed to worship Satan. If they don't worship Satan, they just vibrating super high. Facts. Satan created them. And the human beings that's able to break away from that and open their pineal gland, them be the high vibrational ones. But it's not that many because they were created to do that. So very few of them got that in them to fight against that natural essence of theirs to break from that. That's why the ones that do break from that, I fucks with them. Feel me? But it's very few that break from that. You got to understand that it's a genetic thing. They can't help themselves. It's genetics, nigga. They're bred this way. Like we bred how we bred. They bred how they bred. When something is bred to be a certain way, it's hard to break from what you bred to be, man. You know what I'm saying? They were infused with a dislike for us, for they were created to destroy us. He created them to conquer us and destroy us. You can't forget what he did. You can't forget the reason they were even created. So they doing their motherfucking job. They doing what they supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole reason they was created. Like I say, they called him Yakub in certain stories, but he told his uncle, he told the elders, I will create a race that's going to destroy these people. He wanted to destroy his own people from jump. As a young soul. You know what I'm saying? As a young soul, he felt like that toward us. And then as he matured, he stood on what he felt. So when King Nimrod's mom was going to that tree every year, she putting that on top of the tree, she's paying essence to him. Now, on the 25th, because he died like would have been they 23rd, 22nd day. Now that 25th, remember she was pregnant. And they had a son. So the 25th was always used to pay homage to King Nimrod and his son from his mom and they people at first. And then when the Babylonians was defeated, right? And they had just certain other tribes of them left. Then, you know, the pagans came along, which was just a new name for the era and the time. And they kept it going. Oh, okay, well, shit. That's what the Babylonians was doing, so we're going to keep it going. Okay, and then it dropped down to our time, right? You start getting closer to our era. And they're like, we need a way to keep this going and bring everybody into it. So then they started they renamed it from Saturnalia to Christmas. And then they started commercializing it a little more to bring all of us into helping them manifest. So we manifesting all these negative forces when we celebrating this day. And didn't even know it. But we woke now. We remember again who we are. So we can't halfway do it. If you just not waking up, fuck it. Just give a nigga a gift. But all that, hey, Merry Christmas. Don't drop in vibration for don't help them. Don't drop in vibration like that. Shit, we love our family. Shit. Vibe with your family or something. You know what I'm saying? Vibe with your family, but without forcing it on them either, because they might not be ready for this type of information to rise on that frequency. Okay, cool, but don't lower your vibration trying to kick it amongst them, because you know better. You know better, so you ain't got no excuse. They do, because they don't. But peace to the God, the goddess of the planet Kai, man. We finna come right back. Now we rise. One.